Hi Scrubs, I hope you're well. So we're back in Horsehaven World Adventures, and today you'll be seeing a lot of lassos. You'll also get to see a little bit of breeding, and you'll also get to see the queen horse as well. Now, just to let you know that Kosetsu unfortunately wasn't able to join me for today's video, but you will see their perspective on the right side of the screen, and you'll see mine on the left hand side. So during the lasso event, my main focus was the tier 3 constellation, so that was my big thing. If I got queen, great. If I didn't, you know, that was just going to be the way it went. A little bit later in the video, as I said, you will see the breeding aspect, and you'll also see the queen horse as well. But for the moment, we're just going to be throwing the lassos, trying to get some of the constellation horses, and then you'll think a little bit later on, you'll probably see some of the other exclusives that were available. Those are ones that I mainly didn't focus on because I didn't want more of Beast or Wicked Stepmother or Vida because I already have those horses, so for me I wasn't too worried about them, but I did collect some of them for points. Now on the last Let's Play that I did, I actually asked you guys a bunch of different questions, like what you thought of the event and so forth, and what you got from the event, so I thought it'd be really fun to just actually read out some of your comments, so I hope that's okay. So Lehman said, same thing happened to me, I did not even try to get the queen. Yeah, that was kind of how I felt. I thought I'll try and get as many points as I possibly can, but I was like, I'm not going to the stress of trying to get queen or spending any diamonds or anything. I just thought if it was a horse that I really liked, I probably would have done it, but the only horse that I really liked out of the queen set was probably the tier 3. Was not a fan of the tier 2, which you'll see a little bit later. I don't like it at all. And then Jessica said, nice, I spent all 500, not 50, of my gems to have enough points for summer, but it was worth it. Well, I'm glad you thought it was worth it, because I actually quite like the summer horse as well. I quite like the tier 3, it's like that lovely purpley one. I'm not so much a fan of the mane on the summer horse, but I do like the horse overall. I do think it is quite a nice horse, and it's one of the more updated models too, which is good. And then we had another comment from Azuma, and she said, honestly I didn't even try for the queen, as I think the only people who got it are those who either spent an insane amount of gems on the 10k clovers or bought many lassos for real money. I even did a calculation on how many clovers I'd get per day to see if I'd managed to either buy one or both genders, but it was impossible to do so. I ended up buying a female summer since someone of my friends has had a male exclusive and some accessories. I didn't have it in my collection yet. Overall, IMO, the event was really fun and interesting, so I'm glad they gave us a chance to get horses that either were in previous events or from packs which you could only purchase, not to mention the huge amount of bonuses and the horses you could get without gathering recipes. I managed to get gold into tier 3, and I'm really happy that this horse was very easy to catch. Yeah, I have to agree there. I agree with everything you said there, because there was so many horses here that some people have paid real money for. A lot of people have bought the tier 3 constellations in the past. So as a player who hasn't done that, it's nice to be able to earn them. So for me to miss queen, really, out of all those horses, I can live with that. I'm quite happy to. I'm not upset about it. From a collection standpoint, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm missing a horse, but at the same time, there was so many worthwhile horses during that event. It isn't my favourite format that they've done though. There's other events out there that I much prefer to this one. I feel like we might see more events like this in the future, where they're going to kind of not make it entirely possible to get it unless you go that little extra distance. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Horse, which is another game that some of you may or may not be familiar with, but to kind of explain how it works is there'll be an event and you'll have to get from point A to point B, some kind of milestone, and they will give you enough points that you can get a certain amount of distance with it without spending any real money or passes or in-game currency. But then the last little bit is going to cost you that, and this is kind of what this event is to me with Horsehaven, because in the past, most of the time is if they had a 30-day event in Horsehaven, you're pretty much guaranteed, as long as you do the very best that you can get the horse. So this has been very different in that respect, because I've been used to Horsehaven events where if I have 30 days and I need to get 30 points every day, for example, as long as I do that, then I can get the horse, I can get the exclusive, and even sometimes even get more than is on offer. So I do think that that's kind of what they've done with this. The next comment was from Grace, who said, the lasso event went good for me. I got most of the horses I wanted, which was the Warlander, Pasofino, Alcatiki, and the National Show, And the other horses I wanted was the American Saddlebred, but I tried for that one multiple times and never got it. Yeah, I actually think I accidentally ended up with that one. I ended up with a couple of National Show horses, which I did not want. I'm sure you guys remember in one of my previous Let's Plays, I was complaining about the fact that I was just inundated with lots of National Show horses because I was trying to get the tier 3. Or was it the tier 4? It might have been the tier 4, and I kept getting tier 3s. I had like 20 of them at one point, and I didn't want to look at them again. I was like, I really like that horse model, but I was like sick of trying for the tier 4, I think it was. The Pasofino I actually didn't have, and I don't know if I had actually bothered to bring a Tiki, so I now have those 2 horses, so yeah. It's nice to have some of those. So the next comment was from Rizwana, who said, I had school and I didn't have a chance to come on and get the horses. I only got to go on 4 times for this event and I missed so many days, but I got the Leo and the Golden. That's still pretty good, because the Golden is actually a really gorgeous horse, so it's nice that you did actually manage to get that one, and then the little Leo horse as well. So no, I think that's still pretty good. Even if you weren't highly active in the event, I think it was still possible to get a couple of horses if you're quite lucky. So the next comment was from Shauna, who said, you had good luck. Kind of, I'm not that lucky since the horses kind of spawn in lines. It was kind of hard for me. Your videos are the best. Oh, thank you, Shauna. When it comes to that horse capture, I have to agree. I feel like they really should have gave more instruction with the lassos at the very start. There should have been some kind of tutorial or something like this. If they're going to make events like this that are really kind of that little bit tricky and are going to take more paying attention and kind of timing, especially timing, I really think that they should have given more instruction. That's the one thing that I'd hope Horsehaven takes away from this, is they need to give better instruction than this, because I felt like it was like, catch horses, exchange for clovers, get rewards, and I was kind of like, that is not an instruction, that's just the very general overview. So I do think I agree in that it wasn't easy to catch the horses. It took me a lot of time. It also took other Horsehaven players saying you need to throw it at this point, and I was like, okay, for me to actually kind of realize when to do it, because I missed so many. If you had seen, you know, the first 100 lassos that we were given, if you had seen how many times I missed, most of you would probably hit your head on a desk and be like, why are you doing this, TCY? But I had such a hard time initially trying to catch those horses. So the next comment is from Loretta, who said, the one horse that I tamed that was the Gemini 3, and it was my favourite, so I'm super happy. Love your vids. Oh, thank you, Loretta. Yes, I love Gemini 3. Agree so much with that. I adore that horse. You probably will see that later on in the video, but yeah, Gemini 3 is beautiful. I think it's like my favourite out of the constellation horses, like hands down. So the next comment was from Red, who said, I was planning on getting the Gemini. I don't know if I'm spelling that wrong. I can't remember, but I got the Vida. Very pretty horses. I have to agree, like, the Vida horse is actually a really, really nice horse. I hope they'll actually update that model, because you can really see some of the differences between some of the old models now and some of the new horses. I really hope that they do sort of give them a new fresh face, as it were. Especially the old pony models. They, like, definitely could do with an update. So the next comment was from Luna, who said, I've caught every exclusive and constellation horse that's been in this event, and I also collected some of the point horses, such as Gaia and exclusive Spring. I tried to do the same. I did get all the constellations, so I can hands down say, yeah, got all the constellation horses. Some of the exclusives I just didn't bother with because I already had them, and if I did catch them, it was purely more for the exchange of points. Gaia is a horse that I have. Exclusive Spring, though, was a horse that I really wanted, so it's actually one of the horses that I did, in fact, catch, which you'll see a little bit later. So the next comment was from Dylan, who said, I can't catch any of the horses I want. You know what, I have to say, Horsehaven needs to, like, improve upon this event. Make a tutorial, or make it a little bit easier to actually land the lassos, because I think this is a genuine problem, and I'll explain why. I know here you can see me successfully catching horses in this video, but prior to the sort of the later parts of this event, whenever it was like the first day or two, I missed so many lassos. I got frustrated. At one point I threw in the towel because I was just like, I can't do this. I gave up. And I couldn't catch the horses on BlueStacks because whenever I would throw the lasso and when it would actually go, there was too much of a lag, basically, to put it bluntly. And sometimes I had the same thing on my phone because my phone isn't the best. And I feel like for people that would struggle with timing or just have a device that just doesn't help them, that is a problem. And I feel like Horsehaven maybe needs to think about that a little bit, is not everybody's going to have a super quick reacting phone and then be able to just get the timing down immediately. I feel like there does need to be a little bit more grace period with this event and these kinds of mechanics. So I would hope in future that that's maybe something that would take into consideration, because it really, I almost didn't bother with this event after the first three days. I got really frustrated with it, and it was only, I think, because other people were like, throw it at this point, try that, and then I kept doing it and eventually stopped missing lassos. So yeah, that is what I would say with that. I have to agree, it wasn't easy. So the next comment was from Tomato, who said, I've gotten all the Constellation 3 horses and all the horses now, like the exclusive ones from the Lasso event. I've got a ton of new horses that I certainly wouldn't have gotten without this event, and I'm so thankful for the event. And I love how you get clovers. I've gotten 2 horses from the clovers, Clover and Gaia. I actually chose Clover as well, which you'll see in a little bit, because I actually have been breeding Clover. Really like that horse. And Gaia was one that I already got, but it was not from its original event. I think it was from the puzzle pieces. So yeah, I think this has been a really brilliant event for collecting horses that we might not have had access to before. So the next comment was from Sharo Kinna. I hope I've said your name right. I apologize if I haven't. Who said, it was actually impossible to get the queen without purchase. The average was 26 clovers per horse and 9 times a day. Multiply that by 28 for the days, and you could only get 6,552 clovers. Yeah. See, this is what I mean when I was talking about the horse and the fact that they kind of let you get so close to the goal, and then the rest of it you're going to have to spend in some way, if it's in-game currency or real money or whatever. So I think this is a little bit sneaky on Horsehaven's part, but the only reason that I'm willing to forgo it and forgive them is the fact that the tier 3 constellations, so many other exclusive horses were available. If this had just been like regular common horses, no exclusives, no constellations, no nothing, and you'd had to pay to get one horse, not being queen, I wouldn't have had that. I would have been like, nope, not doing this event. I'll just leave it. That's the way I would have done it. But yeah, I think the fact that they did provide all these horses, I'm willing to forgo that and be like, yeah, okay, I'll not complain about it. But if they were to do this and have nothing but common horses, like maybe like a Mustang and an Arabian or something, horses that are available to breed very easily within the game, and then Queen had been the one that you could get at the end, but you'd have to pay to get it, I would have been like, no thanks. So the next comment was from Cora, who said, do you have golden? I did actually get golden. You'll see me breeding golden a little bit later in this video actually. So the next comment was from Jessica, who said, with this event I got Gemini, Snow, Vida, Pisces, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Barbant, American Saddlebred, National Show, and Beast. That's a pretty good haul actually. That is a very good haul all in. So the next comment was from Darmati, who said, the Lasso event was super fun and I got Leo 3, Gemini 3, and Aquarius 3. That's a pretty good haul. And then Sunflower said, I tamed Aries last time I did it. That's pretty good, like lots of people getting constellation horses here, which is really nice. So the last comment was from Espion, who said, I did the math and knew it was impossible to get Queen with the clovers at all unless you bought ropes or used diamonds. Even if you never miss, 9 ropes a day is not enough. If you only catch, tame, release exclusives and constellations, it's still a minimum of 33 clovers per horse, assuming you fail to tame. The event was only like 31 days. It wasn't going to happen. Since the horse is but ugly, I just waited till the second last day of the event, had about 6,000 clovers saved up, and I used diamonds to cover the rest. The stupid horse cost me about 3,900 diamonds. I didn't need anything else from the event though, except golden, but I got that the first week. Do you know what? It makes me think I don't even want to imagine for the people who wanted Queen and some of the other horses that were available through the clovers, how many diamonds they would have had to have spent to get Queen and some of the other horses. It would have been ridiculous. Like if you'd wanted Spring and Gaia and Clover and some of the other ones that were there as well. I dread to think how much that would have been, plus Queen on top, because Queen was so expensive. So yeah, don't envy you having to spend nearly 4,000 diamonds on that. And I have to say, the tier 2 Queen, I really do not like the colour scheme that they went with it. It's not nice at all. I really don't like the horse. It's like the tier 3 to me is okay, but it's not a horse that I like the design of, to be honest. It's not a horse that I would ever want a diamond, put it that way. So for me, yeah, I don't think it's that nice of a horse. So now that I've finished throwing lassos, what you're going to see is me breeding my Clover horse. I'm actually already on tier 2 with them. I'm trying to get to tier 3. You also see me breeding my Spring horse, as well as breeding my Gemini 3. and the golden horse as well. Those are the 4 horses that I like the most, I think, out of this event. Those are the ones that I think are my favourite out of this event. Because the thing is, to be fair to Horsehaven, I feel like they've brought out a lot of very beautiful, stunning horses, but one of the things I feel like they kind of do quite a lot is they make really odd colour schemes for the horses. Like, if we go and think about, I think Tier 3 Autumn. Tier 3 Autumn, the first, like, Tier 1 is, like, autumn colours, and then the Tier 3 is, like, a weird green colour. And that just confuses me. And then if you look at some of the other horses, they'll, like, have the really nice coats are on the Tier 2 or the Tier 1, and the Tier 3, you're just like, why? But I feel like Queen was an exception there, where actually the Tier 3 Queen coat was nicer than the Tier 2 is just, ugh, I don't like it at all. But the Tier 1 is okay, but it wouldn't be my choice either. In that regards, as a horse. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to notice sometimes with Horsehaven is they'll bring out a horse and it'll be a particular theme, and then the colour scheme doesn't seem to match the theme of the horse. Sometimes I feel like it just kind of goes really bizarre. I mean, creatively speaking, they're allowed to do what they want. Like, I mean, for goodness sake, as I said, the Tier 3 Autumn ended up being green whenever I was like, why isn't it in autumn colours? You know, the leaves of autumn. But, like, they're just going to do what they're going to do. So here we have the Queen horse, we have the Tier 1 Queen and the Tier 2 Queen. These are both Kosetsu's horses. I did not get this horse. And we'll also see the Tier 3. But you can see why I really don't like the Tier 2 at all. It's the one on the right. So here's the Tier 3. This is a horse that I actually think isn't that bad. I think it's a nice enough looking horse. I don't mind it, per se. But yeah, this horse is something that if it comes around again in another event where I can get it for free, I'll get it. But I'm not worried about this horse at all, personally. But let me know your thoughts, if you have any other ones to add on. I know I did ask for a lot of people's thoughts in the last video, so if you're pretty happy that you've shared everything you wanted to say, or if you have any final thoughts on it. But anyways, scrubs, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a lovely day, and bye!